The movie begins with a young girl walking home from school. Suddenly, an elderly woman tries to flee the house but is dragged back inside. Inside the house, the woman's body is on the floor, with blood all over the place. The girl leaves the house and recklessly walks down the road, colliding with a truck and a car. The scene shifts to Shinji talking to his wife, Narumi. She asks him what happened, but he just gives her a vague answer and acts strange. Narumi becomes aggressive and demands an answer from the doctor accompanying them, who informs her that Shinji's unusual behavior could be a result of shock or early signs of Alzheimer's disease. As the couple walks to the car, he falls behind, forcing her to go back and get him. Narumi warns him not to think she has forgotten that he cheated on her. He claims to have lost most of his memory, and when he asks her if they are still together, she says they have not been for a long time. He continues to ask her if she will take care of and guide him during this vulnerable time, but she does not respond. Shinji imitates weather reporter movements at home. Narumi advises him to contact his employer and inform them of his illness. Shinji sneaks up behind Narumi as she illustrates her designs, telling her he wants to go for a walk. She gives him permission and calls someone to whom she has sent an illustration. They tell her she has the job, and she says she will go there right away. After leaving the house, she notices a slipper on the ground and begins to call Shinji. She discovers him lying in the grass, claiming to have fallen. Sakurai, a journalist, is on the phone about his camera crew's departure. He then pulls over to a crime scene and attempts to obtain a story from the cops, but they refuse to cooperate. Sakurai is approached by a boy who asks if he knows Akira, the only survivor of the murder. The boy, Amano, approaches Sakurai's van and tells him they can use it to try to find Akira. Sakurai is not too interested because he is only there to cover the news, but Amano asks if he can keep a secret. He informs Sakurai that he is an alien and that they have come to invade Earth. Sakurai tries to leave, thinking he is kidding, but the child is adamant that he be his guide. Sakurai finally agrees, as he has time before his train arrives. Meanwhile, Narumi is discussing Shinji's situation with her younger sister, Asumi. He greets Asumi but claims to have forgotten her name. He does not understand fundamental concepts such as family and marriage. Asumi tries to explain their relationship to him, but during their conversation, he touches her head, shocking her. When Narumi returns, she finds Asumi crying and asks what is wrong. Asumi claims to have something in her eye, and when her sister approaches her, she feels repulsed and flees. Narumi follows her out and asks why she is upset and if she is returning to Tokyo. Asumi claims she does not need to report anything to her and walks away. The scene shifts to Amano's house, where he is collecting his belongings. Sakurai questions why his parents appear to be drugged, but the boy insists that everything has a reason. He informs Sakurai of their plan to collect conceptions. When humans teach aliens something, they completely lose their understanding of it, just as his parents did. Sakurai is skeptical of his claims. Amano goes on about his invasion plan, and Sakurai realizes that humans are in danger. Sakurai inquires about the boy's thoughts on humanity. As they get into the van, Amano believes humans are intelligent, which is why he chose one as his guide. Sakurai notices that his train is leaving soon, but Amano insists on meeting Akira first. Narumi has been told at work that she can design posters and cards for a new building near town, but her boss is concerned that her husband's hospitalization will impede her performance. She promises it won't, and the boss tells her she can talk to him about anything, including private matters. He pretends to walk away before massaging her from behind, claiming she is tense. She stops him and tells him she is fine. Narumi discovers Shinji going through his belongings in search of the blue shirt she bought him. This irritates Narumi, who sweeps up after him and tells him to stay put. He claims to want to leave the house and learn about the human race. He leaves after she does, but in a different direction. He comes across a man and inquires as to his purpose in being there. The man claims it is his home, which Shinji misidentifies as his own and attempts to enter. He then adopts the man's understanding of possession. Shinji begins to walk away, but the man follows him and mentions being a shut-in at home. He thanked Shinji for finally assisting him in walking away. Narumi returns to her house but cannot locate Shinji. She tries to concentrate on her designs, but she is distracted by her husband's absence. She decides to go looking for him. She finds him lying under a bridge and assists him in getting up. A detective is in the girl's hospital room and reports that her behavior has not changed. The girl suddenly gets up and asks him what self means. He avoids her conversation, but she tells him to focus on what she says. The man demands she stop talking Amano and Sakurai arrive at Akira's hospital room and request permission to enter from the detective waiting outside. Amano and Akira manipulate the detective's mind, repeatedly perplexing him about what he means by self. After the two alien children steal his conception, the detective releases them. In the van, Akira tells them that she dismembered an elderly lady's body by mistake because she does not understand how the human body works, but then transferred it into the body of a girl who entered the house later. Sakurai eventually believes them and asks if he can write about them. Amano tells Sakurai about their plan to build a communicator, and they need his help getting the parts. Amano claims that there are many of them out there, but they cannot find each other. The next day, Narumi gets into a disagreement with her boss. Shinji walks in and begins asking the boss about work. He follows him around and gets into his head while everyone is watching. Outside, Narumi asks Shinji what he did to her boss, and he tells her that he stole her boss's idea of work because he has been holding his guide, Narumi, captive. She cannot understand what he is saying, so she returns inside to find her boss behaving foolishly and destroying the designs around him. Shinji assures Narumi, as they walk away, that he is not trying to complicate matters for her. He explains that he is an alien coexisting with her husband's body. She becomes even more irritated as she does not believe anything he says. Mr. Shinagawa from the health ministry approaches Sakurai as he buys the parts that the aliens require from the supermarket. They sit down to talk about Akira, who is under investigation. The man tells Sakurai that he is in danger and that no one knows how to fight them. Before leaving, Mr. Shinagawa gives Sakurai a GPS service that he can use when he requires immediate assistance. On the street, the man whose conception of possession Shinji changed is giving a speech about the impending war between the United States and the SDF. When he sees Shinji nearby, he rushes up to him and thanks him for freeing his mind and turning him anti-war. Sakurai is watching from a close distance and is intrigued by the interaction. He returns to notify the aliens that he has discovered the third alien. He does not have his address yet, so he shifts the conversation to their plan. Amano informs him that they are gathering all of their knowledge about humans before using the communicator. Sakurai claims that humans will not surrender without a fight. Amano expected their invasion to take no more than 3 minutes, but it now appears that it could take 3 days. Sakurai inquires if they can coexist, but Amano responds that only a few humans can be kept as samples. Sakurai claims to not want that. Akira steps out to look for a better wire for the communicator. The police arrive and attempt to arrest her, but she kills them both. Sakurai panics, claiming that they cannot possibly get away from this, and that backup will arrive soon. Akira breaks his phone when he tries to dial somewhere. Sakurai is forced to help the two aliens as they make the decision to flee the area. Meanwhile, Narumi has a feeling they are being followed. When they begin running, a group of men follows behind them. Shinji splits up with her, and she has trouble finding him. Shinji adopts the idea of one of the men, causing the others to flee. When Narumi discovers him, she screams at him and tells him not to abandon her again. He says he will not because they are married and gives her a hug. Before they enter a church, he notices the word love and asks her about it, but she does not respond. After the choir children have finished singing their hymns, he asks them what they think love means. The children respond superficially, but a priest approaches and assists him in taking his seat. Shinji is read a Bible verse about love by the priest. As they walk back home, Narumi tells Shinji that most people do not understand what love is, so he should not take it from anyone. Akira is working on the communicator inside the van, while Amano and Sakurai are conversing. They realize they have got company, but Akira goes out there to kick their butts. The rest of the men drive off. They realize that it's not cops this time. Akira discovers the GPS device in Sakurai's hands and informs him that he has been deceived. The device is always turned on, whether he turns it off or not, and that is how they have been tracked all along. While they are eating breakfast, Narumi receives a call from the doctor, informing her that Shinji has contracted a virus and must be seen right away. Inside the chaotic hospital, Narumi and Shinji are terrified to see people acting out all over the place. A doctor asks him to enter a lab, but Narumi has a strong desire to leave. While Narumi and Shinji are leaving, Mr. Shinagawa and SWAT teams enter the hospital. Narumi finally believes her husband is an alien and tells him they need to return home and pack to leave town. At her front door, she finds Sakurai, who confronts her about Shinji as she packs. He tells her about the other two aliens that he met, and that if she doesn't get him away from here as soon as possible, the invasion begins. Narumi grabs Shinji and tries to walk away as he asks what Sakurai wants. Sakurai tells him he's a guide, and the van pulls over. Amano and Akira approach Shinji, but Narumi drives him away before they talk. Inside the car, The two discuss the invasion and the communicator. Narumi is saddened that her hopes were for nothing, and it really is the end. They stop at the park and are approached by Sakurai once again, who tells them the aliens want to talk to Shinji. Narumi begs Shinji to choose her over the invasion, and he agrees to leave with her. Sakurai tells them that in that case, they should drive away and never stop. Akira notices and gets in front of their car, getting run over. Shinji tells Narumi not to worry, since Akira is not human. Amano approaches Akira and asks her if she wants a new body, but she claims that she's done what she came here to do, handing him a device. Sakurai steps up and tells everyone around about the aliens' plans and the kid's evil, but no one bothers to listen to him. Amano isn't upset though. As they're driving, Sakurai tells him that he's changed his mind about not being able to stay as a sample. Narumi and Shinji spend the night at a hotel. In the garage where they work, Mr. Shinagawa enters with a bunch of armed men. He tells Sakurai to leave from where he's hiding and talk. Amano approaches the men and takes the health minister's conception away. They shoot at him, but he shoots at them back. Amano slows down because he's injured, but Sakurai helps him, telling him to hang on. Amano gives Sakurai the device, claiming that his time is up. He dies in Sakurai's arms, who proceeds to turn on the communicator Akira built. A plane throws bombs at him as he shoots back with one of the guns. He dies in the end. Looking out the window, Shinji tells Narumi that the invasion's about to begin. She wants to die before it happens, and asks him to choke her. Shinji doesn't squeeze her hard, and tries to go away, so she lies on his chest and tells him that's enough for her. She asks him to take the conception of love from her because she's full of it at the moment. He doesn't want to, but she rushes him, claiming it's the way for him to have it all. She doesn't feel any different. The two of them drive off to the edge of a cliff to see that nothing's changed. The sky starts raining meteors as the two hide. Shinji is at the marketplace 2 months later, speaking with a doctor about the possible reasons why the aliens called off their invasion. Shinji assumes that the aliens became wiser after visiting Earth. The abnormal behavior of those whose conceptions were stolen remains a problem, but the doctor assures him that they will find a way to help Narumi, who has become emotionally detached. The film concludes with Shinji promising to never leave her side. And with that, the movie ends. We hope you enjoyed our video. Watch the next recaps on the screen, and don't forget to subscribe for more amazing recaps. See you in the next one.